Hello and welcome to episode. I didn't even look. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even look at the episode number. I have no idea.
428.
428. Why don't you start doing the intro, smart guy?
I'm you see, I normally don't say anything.
You get something right, and you're like, you know what, smart guy, you think you're so much better than
You're so
us,
smart. Why don't you do it?
You can make a montage of me say, "Oh no, very nice, you got it." You know, like good one. It's funny. I never actually say the number actually.
You don't, yeah.
Because he's been so consistent.
And he never will again.
Take it back.
Myelin, I got a question for you.
Oh,
Imagine,
get scared
if you will,
who Briar's going to ask these hypotheticals to.
And now, let me set a picture in the landscape of your mind, Myelin.
Oh,
okay.
Imagine that you're away, right? You're doing some other out of the house business, and your wife calls you and says the cops are here. They're looking for you and your car. What do you do? Like, what is your first response?
Such an imaginary land where I'm outside of the house in a car. Looking for my car, I'd be like, what car? It's under your name, baby. You deal with it.
So let me give you some more information. This weekend, I was out doing a photo shoot, and the cops came to the house. I was not here, and let me just tell you what happened. You guys can inform me what should have happened. Is the cops came to the house? They knocked on the door loudly. They're peeping in the windows, especially in the garage. My wife answers the door. She's kind of like, it was early, so she was still half asleep, and she said, "They say, is David Cunningham here?" And I said, and my wife said, "No, he's."
Yeah, I don't know that. You mean Briar
is your
Rabbit?
name David Cunningham? That's an awesome name.
You mean Richie Cunningham?
DC.
So she says, "No, he's at work," and the cops are like, "Well, does he drive a black Ford Mustang?" She's like, "Yes, but he didn't take it with him. It's in the garage." And they're like, "Can we see in the garage?" And she says, "Sure. Let me open the garage door for you." And the cops come and look at the Mustang and then explain that there was a hit and run the previous night and that the mirror had been smashed off of the Ford Mustang. And since my mirror was there, it must not have been my car.
Out,
and they moved on, right? They moved to a different place.
That's a bit scary, Brian.
How do they know so much information?
Well, I mean, you have to register your car, right?
Yeah,
but it wasn't your Mustang.
But
were they just going around investigating all Mustang owners?
I think that's exactly what they were doing. Is they were just going around looking for black Mustangs.
You change that mirror pretty quick, huh?
Luckily, I have a couple spares. You know, one for the left, one for the right. A couple extra headlights. You know, just in case. So
Jesus,
let me ask you guys. What would you have done in that situation?
I would have said,
your wife?
I would have said, I am a green holder. I'm not coming home. Tell me when they're gone. And I'll put the foot down.
That's a good point. So I immediately said, "You didn't let him in the garage, did you?"
Get a warrant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, get a warrant.
Yeah, they need a warrant to search your house.
Yeah.
I'm kind of suspicious with you, bro, because you know, like if you allow them, they tell you to have to show them and stuff, and it's like you don't really know what. I guess if they told you more information, we're looking for a hit and run, there should be damage in the car, then probably. But
that's what I would do. I think I would ask, like, can you give me what exactly are you looking for? You know, like,
all right. So
why do you want to see it?
Additional information: my car was parked on the street the night before because we were out kayaking, and the kayaks are stored in the garage, so you have to kind of like shuffle all the cars around to like easily. So I was thinking to myself, like, imagine if my car got hit.
If somebody clipped it,
if somebody clipped my mirror the night before,
you'd be in jail.
Right? I'd be in jail, right? I'd be in jail for sure.
I mean, did you say when they pulled up, like she saw the car and like they were in, you know?
She called me. I was at work.
Yeah, but like these days, I'd be like, I think I would have just like, you would have sensed they're obviously cops, and I would have been like, yeah, I don't mind cooperating, but
that's the scary part.
When you ask about it like this, I would say there is also the distinct possibility I'd be like, look, that's not my name. Happy to help out. This is my husband's name, so maybe you could check that out. And if you need to come back and like really look at this, but like
With a warrant?
you know, you search
Is
the
ICE
property
out
and
here?
stuff. Like, yeah, I would just you might hesitate and be like, is this really necessary? Like, you
I
know,
just
this is not
imagine
a match description. I don't want to be a
if
part
Briar
of it.
was there, he would be sweating so much from all his guilty past sins. You know, like, this dude.
He'd be like kicking
This
something
dude is
around the other side of
guilty.
the door, like
Why are you sweating so much? Just like,
Leave me alone, you twatsy!
which crime are you here for?
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say there's a slight chance I would have been like, look, it's not me, and if you guys need to come back, you're free to, but I'd rather not.
Here's a more important thing. When she called you, did she say everything's okay? Because I feel like if the sentence
No!
starts with
No story
the
ever
police-
starts with that.
I always do, like at times I've had to go to hospital with a kid. I always start
Yeah.
with everything's
Everything's
okay.
fine.
I'm
Yeah.
at hospital. You know, or like, everything's okay. The police are here. Like, you know, if it doesn't start with that, that's a 2-point minus deduction.
No, she should have just like really messed with him. She should have been like, the cops are here and I want you to get out of town right now. Go, go, go. And they like rip the phone out of her
Yeah,
hand.
the phone's
She's
off.
screaming at the phone. They're pulling her away from it.
Freaking
Go,
Brit-
Briar.
breaking Briar.
When she said the police are here, I did have an honest reaction, like, because about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did tear down, like, I was at a church that had like this like pamphlet like posted to the front of the door that was like, oh, we hate trans people and gay people are going to hell. I'm like, this is bullshit. I ripped it off the door.
So
and I
Briar
threw it in the
blew
garbage.
up the church. So he was a little worried that they were onto him. about
You
the
thought
church
you were in for
explosion.
vandalism.
When I came in, that's what I thought. I was like, oh,
Wow.
they got me.
They had a cam up.
Well, the pastor saw me do it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
He's just looking at me while I was
Well,
doing
good.
Nice.
Yeah. You just go, screw you, guy. Screw you. Walk away.
My name is Briar and I live at this address with a black Mustang.
And the mirrors are perfectly fine.
it. Yeah.
Dude, the plot thickens. Yeah,
I
maybe
got
the
spares.
pastor set you up.
Oh, the pastor set you up.
Oh, he bought a black
It's a
Mustang just to
setup.
like.
He's trying to frame you. And then when they hit somebody,
Only a matter of time till it caught up with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't let the cops in your house.
maybe he
Yeah, don't let
maybe
the
he
cops
hates
in your
Trans Ams. And that's what it was. That's what he meant.
Oh, maybe. maybe I'm giving that guy a hard
Sounds-
rap. He just hates
Give me a
tires.
second to get out.
This, the car people will get it.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Give
it's
me
a good
second.
joke.
That's
It's a pretty good joke.
It is actually really solid. Yeah. That's,
So we
Well,
got.
I'm glad you're not in prison.
Thank you.
Briar.
Me too.
Thank-
You know,
yeah.
like I feel
Good.
like every morning I wake up, I'm like, nope, not in prison. All right.
another
But if you
day.
tune into the podcast next week and the background looks like a cheap motel, I'm gonna know you're on the run.
I'm having a
Exactly.
planned absence from the podcast next week.
No, that's right. He is gone next week. Mm.
Planned
That's
absence.
true. I've never gotten this much of a heads up.
I knew last week. I just forgot to tell you. That's why I said it in Twitter, because I was like, if I forget again tonight, then it's gonna be like the night before I remember.
If at all.
So we had Summer Games Fest.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Xbox Showcase.
Mhm.
Yep.
We had Liza P come out, or the Liza P
Mm,
expansion come out.
Yep.
What am I forgetting here?
Well, you
I
could
mean,
add
there's
the
also
PC
next
game
fe-
show in there, the future game
That-
show.
That MindsEye game came out. Everybody was talking about.
Mind's Eye came out.
Mine's Eye.
Next
Isn't that
Fest is
the
on.
like the old like cross your eyes like and stare at the 3D images?
I know what
Oh,
you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
remember
That
those.
might
I
be
know what you're
better
talking
than the
It's
game.
called Mind's
That's
Eye,
definitely
maybe.
better than the game. That's freaking fun.
That makes sense. That's what they were trying to do.
What do you want to start?
I kind of want to hear about Liza P, honestly.
Okay. They shadow dropped Lies of P.
Yeah, they did.
And I was watching Summer Game Fest with Myelin, who was in bated breath waiting for the inevitable announcement of Arc Raiders being shadow dropped. And I said, Myelin, there's a rumor that Liza P DLC might get shadow dropped.
And I said, we're not friends if I don't get my game and you get your game.
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm in. If you're gonna want
yeah, I did get it. But I see this is the thing. I wish you got it because I didn't want it because I'm addicted to Nightreign. I've been playing the Nioh 3 demo. I wanted to play Nightreign some more. There's Death Stranding 2 coming out soon.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on.
I said that last week without all that too. I was like, I don't want Arc Raiders right now. So I was happy.
Oh, so I
Just
gotta blame
like their
you,
misstep.
Fran. You're on the hit list.
Yeah, I already tried to tell you last week.
He tried
But
to
I
soften
will
your
s-
blow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is good context on Arc Raiders release date and everything that they had to apologize to the community because they hyped them up with a freaking ARG countdown. I guess I could see why you
Oh,
thought
really?
something big is coming.
Well, oh yeah, I
Right?
know we're getting off the Liza P train, but
They kinda-
I guess we're on Arc Raiders. So like Arc Raiders, yeah, they previously shadow dropped the finals at the Game Awards, I think it was. So similar to Summer Games Fest, and they also released an ARG that basically there was a Steam update and only some people saw it, and it linked to like a countdown timer after you like went into the files of the game after the update and like found like a executable that led you to this website, and it was a countdown timer, and the countdown timer finished at the Summer Games Festival, and in their mind the countdown timer led to the announcement trailer of the date, which is October 30th, not the release of the game. But
Right.
because of their previous experience with shadow dropping and the effort in the ARG, people thought, including me, that it would be a shadow dropped Arc Raiders, especially since the state of the technical test was pretty bloody good. And there are a lot of questions in the feedback form, like, is this game ready to launch? So, a lot of things were lining up. It wasn't unreasonable to think it was going to drop. And then, October 30th. And at that time, I was like, wow, that's a long time to wait. I hadn't planned anything else for this week apart from playing Arc Raiders. So I guess I got to do that now. And then when I got off stream, my wife said, I heard you talking. You do realize that your second child will be born on October 15th.
Oh, man, they got you good.
So you're just never playing Arc Raiders. That's
You're not gonna
It's
be.
quite- It's quite literally, just for me personally, like whatever. Like the game's gonna be fantastic now. It's got so much. Like they've talked about adding more maps, more than 3 maps. They're talking about adding like more events, like more world puzzles. Like the game is going to be in such a crazy good state if they still work on all those things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Personally, it's
It
The
sucks.
worst
literally
possible thing.
the worst possible time.
Is there any way
the
you can
game
move the
drop.
baby around a little bit? Like
Yeah.
hurry that up, maybe?
I
Get it out of the way?
I
Induce.
did think about floating that idea with Danny, and then I thought not to.
Yeah, can you imagine? Danny, there's a video game coming out, so if we could like speed your body up a little bit, that's
It's for work.
great.
inconvenient.
Think about that.
This whole 9 months thing seems
Little
A
excessive.
Mix
little
that up a little
unnecessary. Yeah, we have
I
science
think there's like some
now.
hormone injections we could do to kind of get things
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, have some like
So
chili
anyway, I
peppers or
was
something. Jump up and down.
was-
I don't know.
sad. I was sad. I was sad.
And I was
then-
happy.
Yeah,
then I was like, "Woo."
I'm really happy
Um,
too. So,
Yes.
so do you have to have played the main game to play the new?
Yes.
Is
Okay.
it like a continuation of the story, or is it sort
Yeah,
of its
so-
own standalone thing?
It's a prequel, which is why in my head I was like,
Oh.
oh, we're probably not going to keep the same character. It might be like its own standalone thing. So when I loaded up and they were like, you have to get to chapter 9 in order to gain access to the DLC, and I was like, oh, because I was in New Game Plus.
Oh,
So I'm in New Game Plus,
Oh.
and I was in chapter 7.
Oh, not too
So-
far
Oh,
off then.
okay. That's
Not too far, thank goodness. And they also added difficulty options, so I put it on easy and just freaking ran my ass to the
Smart.
DLC.
I like the
I
way
was
you
like,
think.
I'm getting there.
Do you agree with this whole like get to a certain point to start a DLC? Because I don't know
I
if
don't
I'm a
love
big
it.
fan of that.
I don't mind if I'm told ahead of time. I think it's
Sure.
rough when it's shadow dropped and you're like, oh, well, okay.
Especially
Um,
when they
in New Games
advertise it as a
Plus.
prequel, so you kind of think it's going to be like a standalone
I
thing.
for sure thought it was a different thing. Or
I
at
think it's
least like
unnecessary.
not having to get to a specific part. Like maybe you have to have the base game, but I didn't expect to have to get to a specific part.
Yeah, I don't mind it when it's
Um,
part of like a story, but like from a technological reason, it irks me, right? That I don't know many games that either, well, I already got to that part of the game, so just save it for when you do the DLC. Just let me jump in, regardless of if I beat it, I'm on New Game Plus. Just save that, bookmark it. And
you
then
see,
like,
Fran,
you know,
they do now. So if you play now and you get to chapter 9, you will always have the item in your
oh,
inventory, no matter how many New Game
oh, you need,
Pluses you
Oh,
do.
okay.
so they
So that you can always
retroactively,
it wasn't retroactive.
Oh, so you have to get to level
You
9
have to get
again?
to chapter 9. Yeah.
Like, so
wait,
if
when,
I already beat the game, I have a save game, but I have to.
Oh, if you haven't gone into New Game Plus, you're fine.
I definitely went into New Game Plus. I don't know how
but
far I went. I'll be
when,
honest with you.
when did they add, when they add this item?
With the DLC.
Oh, so it doesn't have, unless you're playing the game for the first time now, it wouldn't help.
Yeah.
But once you
no,
have
it
it, for
Once you
example,
have it,
if
you
I
have it
go all the
forever.
way through the New Game Plus, I can just jump right in.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. What's the
almost got it
setup?
right.
How did they set this up? Like you get to level
Yeah.
9, you get this item, and then what happens?
And
Like a
then
flashback,
I
or-
don't know if you guys remember if you've played Lies of P, but there's like an area where you're in kind of like a rundown village, and there's like a gold stargazer, which is like this game's bonfire. And it's kind of just like hidden and it's got leaves on it and stuff. And I was always like, wonder what that's about. And they never answered it. Well, that's how you get to the DLC. So you go to this one spot, which it marks it on your chapter select, so you know where to go.
That's nice.
And it takes you into the DLC. And it's taking you, like, story-wise, right before the puppet frenzy. The puppet frenzy is what you experience in Lies of P, where all the puppets have gone mad. They're all killing everybody. Because, like, before that, puppets were supposed to, help people, and they were, like, greeting people in hotels and all that
They're
stuff.
just like AI, our friendly neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
robot.
And then
What
murder
could go
puppet.
wrong? Yeah, and then they turn into murder puppets and kill everybody. So you're finding out about all of that kind of story, and you start in the winter in the zoo, and then you go from there.
Okay.
The DLC is
I
very
heard it's
cool.
hard.
Yes. Okay.
So I've seen a lot of people who are like, "Oh my gosh, this DLC's kicking my ass."
Yeah. So it's really difficult anyway. It is extra difficult if you're a new game anything.
Oh.
Mhm.
And I'm talking like the regular enemies will two-shot you. So you'll be fighting
Oh.
like 3 wolves and all of them can two-shot you. Every single one of them. So they've come out and said that they've heard the feedback about, it maybe the scaling being a little wonky and they're going to be working on it but they need to test it and make sure it all makes sense and feels good. And I do think that they should, because it makes it, there's a very thin line between something being challenging and something slipping into being frustrating. And if you're just traversing an area and there's a group of 3 regular enemies and all of them two-shot you, that could end
Yeah.
up just being frustrating. So I definitely do
Especially-
think that the scaling is wonky.
Well, especially with DLCs, because my problem when it comes to DLCs is that I have this issue where I've played the game, right, and then I set it down and I walk
Yeah.
away. And then a
Mhm.
DLC comes out and I'm like, I don't even remember the controls, let alone the
forget.
build I was using
Yeah.
or what my
Oh,
approach was.
yep.
And now you get thrown right into this even
Yeah.
harder scaled. Yeah, I'd be a mess.
It's
See,
really
that
hard.
kind of feels like
really,
Shadows
really
of Erdtree. I know Fran's kind
It's
of joked
harder
about
than
it in the
Shadow
chat.
of the Erdtree. It is
Yeah,
it's so like Shadow of the Erdtree definitely had that same thing. But I felt like
Sure does.
I felt like this feels off, right? Like
Right.
you can just feel, knowing what Liza P base game was, and Liza P base was a tough game, but it always felt fair and challenging, and this felt like something just
Brutal.
feels off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels
Do you
off.
think people like I also think like Elden Ring had a fan following that like continued to play the game well after the original release, right, into the DLC, where I think like Liza P is something you pick up and then put down, like TV was saying. Like, do you think that was what made the extra challenge? Or do you think it was just off?
It's off for sure. 100%. Having regular enemies two-shot you. Like, I'm talking about like
Yeah.
a guy with maybe 2 moves in his moveset.
It's like a rat.
Yeah. And
Right.
like all of
That's
the
Beginner rat.
Exactly.
all of the regular, not the regular items, but all of like the mini bosses they're all so tanky and do so much damage. Like
Right.
it's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
So I do hope, and they said they're gonna look into that, and I think they should for sure because it just feels a little bit off. But the new weapons are insane. They're really good. There's some very, very cool new weapons.
Do you bring
One
your
of them,
old loadout in there?
you bring everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you bring absolutely everything. Chrono Event, so we can touch on this before we move on to all the cool stuff. But they did add difficulty options. Well, this is one of the reasons that
yeah.
I don't like difficulty options in these games. Because the hardest difficulty is apparently the default, what it always was, what Liza P always has been, and then there's 2 easier than that. I don't like that. It could be said, I don't know if this is true or not, but it could be said that the scaling of the default difficulty is off because they added 2 easier difficulties. Like,
Right.
because now if I'm in a
Yeah,
in
they
a
had-
in a state where I'm like, this kind of just feels a little off, but I don't want to go to the easier one because then that doesn't feel right.
Can
Now
you
I'm in a
bounce back and
situation where
forth?
it's like, yeah, you can bounce back and forth whenever you want. Yeah. So I think it's not a conversation of this DLC is just so difficult and you just gotta like get over it. I do think that it feels off. I don't think that like wolves should 1 or 2 shot you. That feels a bit weird. Just feels a bit weird. Anyway, so they're going to be looking into that. I think it makes a lot of sense that they are looking into that. And yes, you can like get used to it and kind of get over it as you're going through the game, but it still does make the areas less fun to explore, less fun to traverse. I don't think it's doing a
Yeah.
positive thing. But the weapons are really cool. So
Yeah.
I'll give you some options. One of them is a gun blade. Literally,
Oh.
if
I
they were
saw
to
you
make
using that today.
Final Fantasy VIII remake, they should use this gun blade. It's crazy. It's so good. You can like jump into the enemy. You can jump back with shooting the gun. It's super cool. The moveset is amazing. They added a bow. They added there's a weapon that's like a child's pinwheel kind of thing, you know, thing that spins in the wind.
Were there ranged
So you run
weapons
around
in the
with it?
base game?
No,
No, okay.
this is the first one.
Do they still have like the
Um,
weapon combination system where you're like
Yes.
taking bits and pieces from weapons and combining them to make a new weapon?
Yes. Yeah. So the pinwheel, you run and it starts to spin up the blades, and then you do more damage when it spins up the blade. So it kind of
That sounds
changes the way you
great.
play. It's really cool. They've added a straight up flamethrower where your light attack just is a flamethrower. They added a lance that like propels you forward on like a jet. So the weapons are like super unique, really creative, really, really, really cool. The weapons are really good. And the bosses have been really cool, except for the alligator crocodile guy. But besides him, they've all been great.
How
Yeah,
long's how long's the DLC? Like, what's the predicted hour commitment?
Supposedly 15 hours.
Oh, that's
So
not very
30.
long.
But because it's a bit overtuned, it's probably longer than that.
45. for
Probably
me.
a bit longer.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's
I
still a
might
pretty
double
decent chunk for a DLC.
Is it,
Yeah.
Wait, how was the cost? Is it what's the cost for it?
it. $30.
$30.
Yep.
Okay.
And they also added like a boss rush mode. They added some other things to the game. So when you are done with that, you can, go and play other stuff within it.
And that's packed into the DLC. It's not like a free update.
Oh, that's a free update.
Just to check.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like both
Yeah.
kind of.
Yep, it came out at the same time. But yeah, like the level design continues to be great. The music is really good. The storytelling is really, really good. And it does make sense as you play through the game that they require you to get to a certain point in the story because of the story that they're telling. But yeah, the story in Liza P has always been really cool. I love the way they tell the
was
story.
very
They're
cool.
a bit more direct than like FromSoft, but you do still also have like items and letters that you can read to kind of get a deeper understanding about stuff.
The story of the
Yeah, it's been great.
puppets, I thought, was especially. It was a little deeper than the story of Pinocchio and Geppetto, where that's
Yeah.
more laid out for you. But the story of the puppets was very interesting. That was a little more hidden in the lore.
Yeah. I really like that there's a mixture. Like you could just play the game and just watch cutscenes and listen to stuff and you know the story. But if you want to know a little bit more, you can dive into that if you want.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how much have you played of it so far?
Ooh. How much? It's hard to say the hours because I don't know because it just puts it all together. I want to say maybe 12 hours
Okay, so
or
you're
something
way
like
into
that.
it.
I am into it. Yeah, I don't know
What do you think?
where I'm
Like,
at.
good? Is it a go for it?
Definitely good.
Like, no
Yeah.
reservations, just get it. Put it on medium
Yeah.
if you're a wimp like me.
But it sounds like maybe
just-
wait for the balance first.
Yeah, if
That
you
worked
if you
out well
want,
for me the last time.
if you want to be on the default difficulty and have it maybe feel a bit better, especially if you're on New Game Plus, then waiting for that makes sense. If you don't mind bumping it down, then you can always do that, and you can do it whenever you
I
want.
wonder how far level 9. I want all my stuff though. I had all the good stuff.
You should keep most of your stuff into New Game Plus.
I might
so
be
you
at
should
New
have a
Game
lot of
Plus
those.
too. I might have finished the game twice.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you bumping that difficulty down might feel extra. You might hit a good spot with New Game Plus too.
Yeah.
It might
That
be
might
for
be-
you, Briar.
That might be
Nice
a good
easy
spot.
mode kind of thing.
It basically, from what I can tell, it takes it from like a 1 to 2 shot to maybe a 4 to 5 shot kind of thing. So it's still challenging for sure.
Oh,
You just have more
yeah.
margin of error. And then there's one easier than that where you can just like face tank things pretty much.
That's
yeah,
what my
definitely
Shadow of the
recommend it.
Erdtree experience
That
was.
one.
Just face taking stuff.
It's good. It's good stuff. Continues to be good.
Great. I'm really excited. I'm so happy.
Yeah, these devs are great. I can't wait to see what they do in the next like big game that they make.
Yeah.
A new game.
Have they said what their next game is going to be?
No, they haven't said anything
Because
about it.
I mean, the way they left Liza P,
Mm-hmm.
like I was like, oh, I can't wait for a sequel to this. I don't
Can't
wanna,
wait.
Like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but man,
Yeah,
like it's so wide open.
without spoiling it, I was wondering, would they ever do something like Lies of something else, like inspired by a different world?
Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's what I would do. And I haven't finished much of it, but I'm like, this was such a cool inspiration, and I could
Yeah.
see them taking that same thing. But then you get a whole new like world and inspiration from something else.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
What would it be?
Yep.
Well, they
don't
lay
know.
it out what it would be.
Oh, okay. So it's a little spoiler. So they do hint that they've already
yeah.
got.
Yeah.
And it would be
Oh, yeah.
okay. I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
it for
Specific
myself.
to other,
Oh yeah.
let's
That's
say,
cool.
public
It's super
domain
cool, right?
kind of.
It's really cool that they could do all sorts of fairy tales, right? And you don't even have to just stick to like, Western known fairy tales. You could go to all over the world. There's so much there
Sure,
that they could
sure.
draw inspiration from. So
You know what they should do?
Super
The what was it? Steamboat Mickey, the black and white.
Yes, that's
that-
public domain now.
I don't think you can take it that far, but it'd be hilarious if they made a whole game based on that. That's
I
just
mean,
like super like off
Like
kilter.
Cuphead?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it doesn't actually feature
Yeah.
like.
No, you're right.
But totally. I mean, that's a good point, man. Amazing.
Fran,
good
are
stuff.
you playing Shadow of the Erdtree?
Yeah, I won't
You
waste too
went
much
back
time
to
giving
it.
all the news. But actually, the big news was beat Nightreign. So that was really nice to get through all 8 bosses and just
Finished
to
it?
be surprised.
Done with
Yeah,
that?
and it's weird. It's weird, right? With a 3-player. What's that?
You're done with that now? You finished that game
No,
tape?
definitely not. Want to play more with these folks. But anyway, I didn't like it wasn't unexpected the way that the world develops and it being FromSoft, but it's really impressive for a $40 co-op experience and how they have so much tender loving care. And
It's a
But anyway,
great game.
I couldn't believe like sort of as the world evolves and the journey stuff with each character, but then especially how the last boss and things play out beyond that as like a full experience. I was like, they are just cooking. It's incredible.
I think it's a like really good example of just a completely different gameplay loop set in a game's universe, And I think sometimes like that's always good. Like you're like, I want this combat, I want, Elden Ring environments, bosses, but maybe a different gameplay loop. And I don't know how often we see that. So it's
Yep.
hopefully we see more of it from other companies too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I think we've talked about it every week since it came out. Like it went from like, God, this game is so freaking hard to which I've always experienced. I know I'm better than this. I've just got to keep playing. And then
Uh-huh.
you get addicted to their systems and the progression, but then there's so much art and beauty in what they do. So other than crossplay, which is an actual crime, like lock them up. It's ridiculous. Please figure that out. And I'm sure
Crossplay,
they
I would
they
love
know
it.
and care. Yeah. But anyway, so Nightreign amazing, and then I tried to go back to I set that up because I I started Shadow of the Erdtree before this to kind of like get my wheels greased. I'm like, sweet, I'm so ready for Nightreign, which worked.
Yeah.
But then they introduced like these new UI, new systems, even just like swapping a weapon from one slot to a different one, like that doesn't exist. There's no, so the buttons change, right? There's no dash. Everything is not everything. Enough is different that I tell you what, if you try to play them back to back, boy, it messes you up.
Sure.
And it feels it's like suddenly it's like so slow but Shadow of the Erdtree has been pretty amazing as well. But I am getting whooped to keep the theme of like I was reflecting on Myelin rage quitting it a few times, and I actually said on my stream, I was like, I see why Myelin probably quit this. And I'm a new game plus and like have even a few things that I can lean on maybe. Like it's easy for me to like power up. I have like all the smithing stones that I can just power up any weapon I get, or I mean, it's still like brutal. But the game just beats you up a lot. And the point I'm at in Shadow of the Erdtree, that I'll leave it at this until the future, is unlike I think normal FromSoft experiences, even though they're really difficult, I'm always like, just keep grinding your runes, and level up and go in a different direction if you're stuck. It's frustrating, but you usually have like a path. Shadow of the Erdtree, I'm like, do I just have to like run past stuff and find these like upgrades? Because I'm getting whooped. I can't find like a momentum in the game yet. It's hard to get the initial upgrades is what it seems. Now, whether or not I've missed something, I don't know, or it's new
Are you
game
trying
plus.
to find them on your own, or did you look up a map to find out?
Oh
where
no,
they
I
are?
always just play on my own. Yeah. So in other words, finding the Scatter Tree upgrades, which is the main thing for you, I believe, right? For your strength and resilience, or your power and resilience, you need to get, and then you have the blessing for your horse and some other stuff. But it seems like you have to find that stuff, and I'm like, anyway, it's been hard to find a momentum. Everything is like 2 or 3 shotting me, and I think it'll be rewarding in the end, but I got a long way to go.
Similar to Elden Ring, I played a bit of Nioh 3.
You
the demo.
did, yeah.
Really liked it. I'm not a huge like Nioh fan. Like I've kind of played them, but I don't have like great memories of them.
You be
Like,
watch out. Those crazies are everywhere.
The what?
Those crazies are everywhere.
Crazies. The Nioh crazies.
The Nioh crazies.
Well, I mean, Nioh is quite a loved game. It is Souls-like, but it has its own kind of spin on the genre, I guess. And I feel like Nioh 3 was the first time it like really clicked for me. Someone in my chat said, "Oh, you're playing the Diablo Souls game." I'm like, Diablo Souls? Oh, like because of how much loot you get and like kind of the build crafting with it. I was like, oh, that's like kind of an interesting way to think about it. And
Sure.
once I thought about it like that, I was like, rather than like butting my head against a wall when I came up against a boss or something, I was like, no, I'll just come back to this. Like, I just need to get my stats up a little bit and get some more loot and get something that's going to work for me, and then come back. And it is like an open world now, well, the demo is anyway, where you might come across a boss that's just like absolutely whoops you, similar to Elden Ring, and you're like, well, I'm going to come back to this later and get some more gear before I do it. Maybe get some backup, because you can have these like summons that come and help you out. Yeah, but highly recommend on PlayStation 5 the demo for Nioh 3. Most people that came to my chat was like, is this as hard as the other Niohs? And I couldn't really answer that because I'm not very familiar with the other ones. But I could say it feels like what Elden Ring did for the Souls series is kind of, or From Software. It's like, if you come against a roadblock, you just go a different direction, and you can kind of scale the difficulty by doing that, rather than getting to a roadblock that you crash out on and like rage.
It's not level based. I always thought Nioh was more like level based, where you just kind of proceed through levels. I'm like,
This
wrong?
is like there's chapters, and there were mission levels within those chapters. Now the way that they're doing it is within those chapters, it's like one big area that kind of links together, and then you'll go to another chapter and it'll be another big area. So it's not totally open world like Rise of Ronin. It's somewhere
not
in the
one
middle.
huge world like
Yeah.
Elden Ring, but it's big enough that you can go in other directions and do other things to get the gear that you need to come back. So it's yeah. I don't know exactly if you say small or medium, but like it's open world enough that you feel like you have some exploration and freedom to bypass stuff until you can deal with it.
How long's the demo?
I was in there for like
Uh,
10 hours.
Yeah, you can, depends how long you explore. Like the map looks small, but when you actually start running around, like there's lots of little places you can go and explore. Like it's not yeah, it's not as small as like
chunky.
when you first open your map. Yeah, it's a decent amount for sure. Decent amount to definitely let you understand if you're gonna like it. And for me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like this.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on. Like it is, the amount of systems in Nioh is insane, and I didn't even really get to the point of understanding them all. I was just like, I'm gonna do the Diablo thing and just equip the strongest gear, and then just find like what weapons I like first, and then I'll start working out all these other systems in place and how I like would actually make a build or something. But it can be a bit overload for sure.
Yep.
Recommended.
Nice.
Got a
And
PlayStation 5.
that doesn't have a release date. It's just probably February or March next year, right?
Yeah, they said early 2026, so probably March.
Plenty of time to get Arc Raiders done, Myelin, you said. Baby or not.
Yes. If I'm still here.
As long as you don't ask for that early baby date.
I think my next release I'm pumped for is end of next month, end of July. It's
Wildgate?
it's actually grounded. Oh, I've actually been playing the Wildgate open beta, by the way.
Oh.
Pause on that. Is live right now. So I've been playing
Mhm.
that this week with my wife. We've been having a lot of fun with that. So, and the servers are pretty populated. You're not waiting very long for matches, which is great. Because when I did like the creator preview event, I would wait for like 45 minutes in a
Yeah.
queue to get people, which sucked. So it's been nice to be able to just like queue a match, get in there, blow up some ships, get some loot, and have a good time doing that. So if us talking about Wildgate piqued your interest at all, you can check that out because it's live right now on Steam, totally free, open beta.
Comes out next month though, right? I think.
Yeah, so full release.
That's why I
is
was
next month.
guessing, but it's not that.
Well, because I'm already playing it, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? But next month is Grounded 2, which is sort of like think Souls game meets survival game. Because you've got all these different combatants and enemies and boss fights that have specific move sets, and you have to do the dodge parries and all that stuff. It's a ton of fun. The first game was so playful. Obsidian, right? And they crushed it. I think it's the best survival game that came out in the last like 5 years. Is Grounded. So, anyways, I'm very excited about that one. I'm looking forward to it, and you can do all kinds of build.
Cool.
Do all kinds of build crafting if you want to do sword and shield, or if you like blunt weapons, you know, all the kind of stuff that you've come to. Or if you like magic, they have really fun, playful ways of incorporating gear that's supposed to simulate like mage stabs and stuff like that. And actually, one of the most fun ways to play it is actually being an alchemist, because you can all these ingredients you can find. You can like mix up potions that are sort of like hand grenades and that have different status effects and stuff like that. So it's just a really creative game with a whole lot of potential if you like build crafting, and very playful at the same time. So I'm jazzed about that one.
Cool to hear about the combat, because I feel like survival games, that's usually the part of the game. The
combat normally sucks.
It normally sucks.
It feels like a PS2 game usually with survival games, but
100%.
Obsidian really elevated what survival combat can be like, for sure.
I got to check out Grounded 1 because Grounded 2 definitely has my interest, and especially now you're saying that like the combat stuff, because all the other crafting things always look pretty good too. And I should be an expert at killing spiders and dangerous small things.
It's like a lot of people. That was the thing. That was actually some of the first pushback to Grounded 1 was people were like, I thought I was playing a fun, silly Honey, I Shrunk the Kids survival game, and then a freaking wolf spider jumped on me, and I was like, I didn't realize I had to sit forward in my chair, and these were real gamer hours.
Yeah,
that's what it's like.
That is kind of interesting because like the theme of the game doesn't scream Dark Souls. Do you know, like,
and you would
with
have
combat and difficulty.
To be fair, if that's what the kind of game you're used to, I do recommend you elevate the difficulty level right off the bat for sure to get that kind of an experience. But like, even the way that they designed some of these, for example, let's just talk about the wolf spider. The wolf spider even has like feints. Like you have to really memorize the move patterns, and they'll actually like fake attacks to bait out responses from you, like bait out a block, and then they'll come in with a quick poisonous strike on the opposite side. Suddenly you're bleeding HP. Yeah, I mean, they take it real seriously, and I think that they just really elevated what I've come to expect from survival games.
That's cool.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to it too.
Good to hear. Woo!
Do you want to go through? You want to do a run through of some of the games, and we can make comment on them if we want to? Or...
Yeah. Hit it.
Well,
hit
look, I'll just go through my tabs, and we can talk as we go.
Okay.
Mortal Shell 2.
Yeah.
Banging trailer. Well, maybe one of the best trailers this weekend.
Yeah.
You have to hear the music in order to really get a feel for it. But it was like,
it is heavy.
Ooh,
heavy music.
Yeah, it looks
beta,
great.
Beta signups. So if this looks good to you, go to the website. You can sign up for the beta. Beta signups are out now.
If I caught it correctly, if you remember Mortal Shell, like a pretty small team, very indie, Dark Souls, but pretty, it got pretty good reception, but it was small. But from what I can tell, this is a major engine upgrade, and like there's a lot more going on now. So it's not.
There's a lot more people on the team.
Part of the trailer where he's beating the guy with his own tongue. This guy
that's pretty good.
It's super metal looking.
Yeah, this game looks like an Iron Maiden album cover come to life.
That's a great way to put it.
Yep.
But yeah, like just to separate it from like, it's not just maybe a small sequel, I don't think, from, what was already a small thing. So I think it's worth a look if the first one.
It was a really tiny team for the first one. And then for the second one, they've definitely got a lot more people. And right away, I was like, this looks like it's Mortal Shell because it's got the same thing going on where the whole idea with Mortal Shell is that you have shells, which are your classes. But you are like the thing inside of the shells. So it was a really, really cool idea. I didn't love the boss design or the level design in Mortal Shell 1. So seeing this, I was like, it looks like Mortal Shell, but like way different and like way better. So I'm definitely excited to see what number 2 is like, because they had some really cool ideas.
Yeah, it looks sick.
Yeah,
coming
it was
2026. Yep.
Well, that's just right around the corner.
Chronicles Medieval. This is the one narrated by, is it Tom Hardy? It's don't really know. We just had a cinematic trailer. Kind of looks a little bit like Bannerfall. I don't know if anyone's played Bannerfall. There's like a real-time strategy part of the game, but there's also a part where you're like on the battlefields, like participating in hand-to-hand combat, but no real other
epic
details.
Battles, like huge battles.
Yeah, I always love medieval battles, love medieval stuff,
cool.
but this is kind of the only gameplay you see of it, and then it cuts away. So it's called Chronicles Medieval.
My wife has a huge crush on Tom Hardy, like disturbing a little bit.
There you go. That's Mama, you play together. Code Vein 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed Code Vein 1. This trailer was so I was looking at it and I was like, looks like Code Vein especially when they put the mask on and stuff, and there's certain things that happen. I'm like, it looks like Code Vein, but the art style is entirely different. So I was really confused. But I think if you look at the gameplay that happens, it looks more akin to Code Vein 1 art style. But the actual like
cinematics,
cutscenes, the cinematics that they're doing looks really different. So I was confused. But I enjoyed Code Vein 1. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect game, but it had again some really cool systems in it, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I never played Code Vein, so I wasn't familiar with this franchise. So is the elevated pitch like anime's Dark Soul? Is that kind of like
that was what Code Vein was for sure? Yeah, it was like it's anime Souls, and it was kind of the first one that you would attach that name to.
Right.
But they have some really cool systems where you can learn skills so that you can use them permanently. So if you select a class, after you use that class for a certain amount of time, you can use those skills on any class. So it ends up being a really cool mixture that you can make with your characters. So yeah, I think it's
Code Vein. I played the demo.
Right.
Was that the one with the really cool create a character? Or
yes,
it was.
Yes.
Was that like the gradient hair and everything?
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Their creative character was crazy.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Game of Thrones, premium real-time strategy, no gameplay footage, just cinematic trailer. Are we still into Game of Thrones?
Pass.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was very
free-to-play
impressed by
RTS.
how good he looks like Jon Snow. That's what
Yeah.
I was impressed
Jon
with.
Yeah.
Snow. Oh,
He
they
looks
licensed that
exactly
actor?
like him. Oh, he
Yeah.
looks exactly the same.
My wife
they
thought they
license
were
all the
making a new
actors?
series at first. Which I think is a pretty good compliment on the graphics.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's a marketing cutscene. I mean, it's an RTS, right? So it's going to be.
Well, it says a
Yeah, right.
classic
Everybody's gonna get
premium
this
real-time
right.
strategy game coming into PC in 2026. Free-for-all multiplayer. Developed by PlaySide Studios.
So will you buy it if you want to play a single player campaign and just the multiplayer is free?
This is all I know is from what they
Okay.
said and they showed the cinematic is it seems to be a RTS in the Game of Thrones universe.
I do like that
And
there's
just-
another RTS being made.
Oh,
because
sorry,
you don't get many of them.
Conquer the Seven Kingdoms solo or in a free-for-all multiplayer. So it's probably a campaign, RTS campaign alongside of it, I would imagine.
If there's
Oh,
a campaign,
well,
I'd be
I
interested.
thought it was only free to play.
Yeah, if it's only free to play, I'm with Fran. No, thank you. Because you know it's gonna be
Right.
riddled with shit that.
Sure.
I mean,
Atomic Heart 2 caught a lot of attention. I know the first one was like well received, but maybe didn't
yeah.
blow up huge.
It was
But
like
like
mixed received. I feel like it was like
Maybe
it looks
mixed.
really good, but like it's kind of
It
I always
also
heard
hit
lots
right
of mixed
when the
things.
Ukraine war started, and wasn't it Russian
Mm.
developed? So people were
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like standoffish about that.
it had
Oh,
yeah.
maybe.
Look, I'm interested. I never played Atomic Heart. The visuals always look good. It's a very interesting looking game. And
Definitely, yeah.
Munfish developer looks like they're putting out a bunch of stuff. We've got another announcement too, but kind of looks good. I wouldn't mind maybe playing Atomic Heart off stream just to see what I think, without people yapping in your ears and make up my own mind for it. But
Sure.
Sure, it
Yeah.
looks nice.
gives Bioshock Infinite vibes.
I thought same
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. And this also by the same developer, this is what got a lot of people's attention, including the Destiny community, which is called The Cube, which was described as an MMO RPG, but originally I thought it was a battle royale because it takes place on a cube that's changing. So I was like, oh, this is going to be
Yeah.
like the arena. It's going to be a first-person shooter, probably another extraction game, to be honest, on this cube. But then it was described as an MMO RPG. So
Yeah.
in the Atomic Heart universe, I believe, developed by Munfish as well. So it has my interest. Don't know.
There's lots
That's
of-
all I got.
There's a lot of crotch and a lot of ass.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
your
it
timing
sure
there
is.
is like there's just like the crotch
I'm
filled the screen
interested.
and you go, has me interest.
Has me interest.
No, it looks,
Has
it's
me interest.
interesting. Yeah, it's another. I could only assume that they're, an audience would be there from Destiny because it is like MMO first-person shooter. So we'll see. We'll see what
There
it
is a
ends up
couple
being.
of these MMO first-person shooters coming out as well. There's one on Next Fest, which I've been looking into called, I don't know if it's called Pioneer. It's like Pioneer, but with one less E. Pioneer. Pioneer.
Pioneer.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's really not ready for beta, and we can talk about Next Fest stuff yet, but super interesting looking game. It's got a lot of bugs in it. I had multiple crashes during the tutorial, but once again, described as like an MMO shooter, which is like, now that I think about it, I was like, well, that's why I like Destiny. Yeah, I kind of like MMOs, but I want them to be shooters or have a different combat system. So
Yeah.
these are definitely up there for me, the Cube, to see how that pans out. Talking about MMOs, Chrono Odyssey has a playtest next week on the 20th. You can sign up by wishlisting, I think, on Steam. Interesting looking MMO because of the combat system. Looks a lot more real time than other like tab targeting systems in MMOs, which is always like one of the things I don't like about MMOs. So kind of check it out. There should be a bunch of people playing this next week, I would imagine, on stream. I'll try to get in. If you got a contact, let me know. I wouldn't mind giving it a shot on stream.
I've watched some of the videos from the developers, and their thing is they are making an MMO, but they wanted to make it around small teams instead of having these 100-man battles,
That's
so that
right.
they
That's
could
right. Yeah.
make the bosses and the combat feel a bit tighter and rewarding. So that's
Yep.
definitely interesting to me. Combat does look good.
Yeah, it
I
does
mean
look cool.
that's kind of the formula of Destiny, right? Like it's MMO light, but you still do things in teams of 3 or 4 or 6 in terms of a raid,
Right.
so you can have tight combat and not have things just lagging out of the place. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, there is actually a 17-minute gameplay reveal on IGN today that shows raids, dungeons, world bosses. Reception has been pretty good to it, so probably give that a look and look out next week for people to start playing the playtest June 20th. Yeah,
June 20th. Ooh, it's all
June
coming.
20th.
Very scary. Everything's coming out.
Mafia Old Country. You guys ever played Mafia? I never played Mafia
Yeah,
series.
back in the day.
I never did.
What do you expect from Mafia?
I haven't played the recent
pretty-
ones, but I mean, it has a GTA-esque but smaller scope. Just focused on that mob story. But yeah, because I haven't really played it recently, I can't speak to how they've evolved it. But I would say that I would think that folks would be looking forward to it.
Yeah,
they're well.
yeah. I've
liked,
never
aren't
played
they?
Mafia either.
I haven't either.
I mean, I am
We're gonna-
Italian Sicilian, so
We're gonna
It's
slam through
I
these.
play a
lots.
game that's like life, right? I live it. I don't need to play it.
yeah, something like that.
Mecha Break. This is probably the one that's coming soonest to
July
July
1st.
1st.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we have a release date for Mecha Break. Looked like they showed off some of the single player stuff too, because I had talked about that. I wasn't really keeping up to date with the
Some
single player aspects.
So Mecha Break had a demo and an alpha and stuff where you could only play PvP. So this was kind of a big arena shooter where your heroes are the mechs. So you could have flying mechs, you have turret mechs. The mechs were actually really, really cool. They were well made. But at the beginning, you had a
Tutorial.
PvE section where you fought a
Yeah.
boss, and we're like, huh, that's weird for a PvP game. And we found out that there's going to be PvP, just pure PvP. There's going to be PvPvE, and then there's also going to be raid boss, pure PvE that you play with other players. So
Cool.
I really liked
We had a
liked
blast.
Mecha Break. Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
ton of fun playing
Mech
Mecha Break.
designs are sick.
They're really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. And you can fully
Every mech
customize
has-
their paint,
Mhm.
their outside, but you can also customize the inside. Not as crazy as Armor Core, but kind of close if you think about
Yeah,
what you could do with Armor Core.
I do believe there was a shit ton of stats though that I was
There
like,
is
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
what
stats.
any of
Yeah.
these stats mean and how influential they are in a PvP game, because that was
Yeah.
kind of the grind components. You do matches and you get, a 2P37 core for the turret. You're like, okay, what is that doing? It cools down FP by 3%. You're like, okay, well maybe that would be good. I think.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. You're like, that sounds like a thing I like to do. I want to do that faster. And you're like, sure, it might be good.
Sure. Yeah,
We
so
should play
that's,
Mecha Break when it comes out, though. All of us. We should get on a team and blast some fools.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Last
two,
some
2.5
Really
weeks.
fun.
2.5 weeks. We'll be able to
Mech
play
Warrior
Break.
2 is getting remastered too, isn't it?
That's so cool.
Oh,
that
that's
cool?
I
cool.
think it is.
Dude,
yeah.
Mech Warrior 2 is so good.
It is good.
That was back when you bought
It-
PC games in these giant boxes that were bigger than our textbooks at school.
Yeah, they came with cloth maps of the world.
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
novels inside.
This is Infinitesimals. I
This
thought it
frickin'
was
We saw this trailer and the logo popped up after, and I was like, I cannot read that. I have no idea.
yeah. It was.
But it looks cool though.
I thought this was Grounded at first. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Grounded
yeah.
2. But then,
Yeah.
and I literally wrote Bugs Life on my notes for games. I had to go back and find what it was called. Just looks all like similar concept, shrunk down. But you're fighting robots and bugs, in it, or you are a bug, I guess. They're like
You're
a
a robot bug.
technologically
do be
advanced
bugging.
robot bug.
See, look at that. I was looking at it, I was like,
Infinitesimal.
because it was your whole screen, and I was like,
Infinitesimals.
but don't know.
You're like, that's too many letters close together.
Infinitesimals.
There are no spaces.
Infinitesimals.
Certainly interesting.
We got some ones that are like Wu-Tang and Wuchang.
Yeah.
We got
Wuchang
this?
Fallen Feathers. Yeah, that's had its release date for a little bit. That's coming out in July. It's going to be a $50 game, July 23rd. And they are wearing the fact that they're Souls-like on their sleeve. You know, a lot of devs now, they're like, oh, we're like a tactical,
RPG.
punishing, difficult action RPG. But they don't want to just say Souls-like. Like, we're a Souls-like. Yeah.
I prefer
this
when
looks
they
cool.
just say it.
Yeah, because then you know what you're getting into. You know,
Yeah.
like what did you set out to make? A Souls-like. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
But this one looks cool. Lots of different powers going on. It's set in the land of Shu during the dark and tumultuous late Ming Dynasty. So this is in China. It's by a Chinese studio. And there just looks like some cool powers that you can use. I don't fully know if the combat's gonna be super slick yet. I definitely saw some questionable things earlier, but it looks fun.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
will be
nice look
playing
to
it.
it. That's for sure.
It does. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Wukong. So we'll see if it's like harder
Oh, I
than
can
that
see
because I guess
that.
they're adding the Souls like to it.
Yeah.
Rather than just kind of boss rushy. This one's for Briar, Wu-Tang
Yeah,
Clan.
I was in the chat and I was like, Briar, Wu-Tang, and he's like,
He's like, what are
Huh?
you talking about? Yeah, he's lost.
Briar, there's a Wu-Tang game. Come on now, it's Wu-Tang.
Once I figured that out, I'm pretty excited now.
So this is
There's only a-
Wu-Tang: Rise of the Deceiver. It's a co-op action RPG with anime-style fighting and Afro-surrealist aesthetic. So players face increasingly challenged battle chambers to the tune of reimagined Wu-Tang Clan tracks.
Love it.
And you can deck out
Reminds me
your
of
own
Hi-Fi
custom
Rush.
fighter.
Yeah, it does.
It looks
yeah,
really
it does.
cool.
It does kind of have that vibe, doesn't it?
Visually,
Well,
it's super
yeah.
cool. I'm excited.
A little
about it.
bit, like, I don't know. Hi-Fi Rush was a little too bright and like too happy,
Mm.
and this is just a little darker, and it hits me a little closer to home. Plus, it's got
Yeah.
Wu-Tang in it.
That's
It's got
Wu-Tang,
Wu-Tang.
yeah.
You have
Yeah.
Wu-Tang tracks in the game, which is going to be a nightmare to stream, but it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
Goodbye.
yeah, that's a bummer.
I just won't put it on YouTube and just have it on Twitch only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
There we
Oh
go.
my
Nine?
goodness,
Now we're
dude.
talking.
So
Finally.
this at the Game Fest, if you guys weren't watching live, they cut to like, we've got an announcement from a long withstanding franchise. And they're talking to like the Resident Evil director, and he says, "We just need a little bit more time, but we'll talk to you when we can." And then like 20 minutes later, they showed this trailer. So we're like, "Oh, I guess that's now." Okay.
You got baited.
He baited everybody. I was like, "Oh, really? That's it?" A bit weird. But this is called Resident Evil Requiem. It's Resident Evil 9. It's coming out February 27th, so it already has a release date.
Mhm.
And they actually did show some
birthday.
people at Summer Game Fest gameplay of this game. So people
they?
were
I hadn't
able
heard
to
that yet.
see, yeah. So the thing that they're doing with this one is you're going to be able to switch between first person and third person
Oh,
whenever
interesting.
you want, pretty much. So, and they said that normally when you can do that, the third person animations tend to not be so good. But
Yeah.
they said that it looks like it's made to be played either way. So that was
Wow.
pretty cool to see.
Very
A lot of people
ambitious
didn't-
indeed.
Dig on the first person switch of 7 and 8, right?
Yeah, it
I-
was kind of a mixed bag, I think.
I really liked 7.
I love
Yeah,
it.
7 was great.
In fact, as you mentioned it, I was like, that's right. That was it entirely first person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
No,
7,
that was
I played
great, dude.
entirely in VR, and that
Oh
was
yeah,
fucking
that's
crazy.
right. No, it's great. Definitely as like fans, Resident Evil fans being split on, of course, a perspective change and
Yeah.
other stuff. That doesn't surprise me at all. But that game's a banger. Was surprisingly good. And like
Yeah.
the
8 was
mood-
really good too. I liked 8 a lot.
yeah.
But you are going to be playing as Grace Ashcroft.
Oh, so they're switching.
Um,
We're not going back to the dude who can regenerate his arm.
No, you are not going to be him. You're going back to Raccoon City, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're returning to Raccoon City to investigate what's going on, and you're playing as Grace Ashcroft, which it was her mom that was in a previous Resident Evil. I'm not super up to date with Resident Evil lore, but Alyssa Ashcroft is her mom, and she was a part of a previous Resident Evil game.
Was she a bad guy?
No, I think she died.
Oh, that's sad for her.
So, like, we know that your mom died, but we need you to go back to the spot where she died to see what's going on. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. Her
My
mom was,
impressions of it have been really good so far. So
This looks a little scarier than maybe
it looks
8
scary,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Scary.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess her
7 I
mom was-
thought was pretty scary. Well, the beginning was.
Oh, 7 was absolutely. It was just like freak scary. Like,
yeah.
Like just Bayou, you know,
like
deep
Deliverance
south.
in Resident Evil kind
There's
of thing.
no way out scary, which Deliverance. Exactly.
Oh,
No, but it
okay,
had
wait,
that.
So Krauser said that mom was in Outbreak, Resident Evil Outbreak, and she technically survived that incident, but died right before the start of 9.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well,
That's
is
the
Outbreak
Really?
like one of the shooting games, like one of the weird
Ooh,
side
I
stories?
don't remember. Resident Evil
It's funny
Outbreak.
because I played some. I don't remember the gameplay.
I just don't remember.
looking
It's
it
a
up right
survival
now.
game still, so
Yeah.
survival horror game.
But yeah, it was back in 2002 or 3. it looks like, so.
2004 for North America. Yeah, it's a long
just
time.
on the cusp there.
It depicts a series of episodic storylines in Raccoon City. So you get 8 characters with unique abilities, and you get to play their stories. It's that one.
It was an online game.
There you go.
It had that component to it. I'm trying to remember. Like, I definitely played some of it, but God, that is so long ago. I mean, it's over 20
It's a
years ago.
long time ago.
God damn
And
it,
it was
Fran.
not-
Why'd you
I-
have to say something so mean?
Now, I didn't say anything.
It's
That it was
been
that
like
long ago.
21 years.
Oh my god.
Just saying, we only remember the bangers. This one, I don't think was a banger. Pretty sure.
I don't think any of the side story ones have been bangers, right? If it doesn't have a number, has it been a good game?
That was
Well,
my
next
short
Myelin.
list.
Super
of-
excited for.
That was unless I missed anyone you wanted to talk about. I mean, I didn't cover
Yes.
everything, but
I'll
we've
I'll
also
pick
got
out
the Xbox as well.
Yeah, I'll pick out the main ones from there. The main one for me was definitely Stranger Than Heaven. This is
yes.
the new. Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah,
one's
I
exciting.
did have that. I forgot to put it up. Okay.
This is from the developers behind Yakuza games.
Yakuza.
Yeah. And it's looking real good.
Are we in
Yeah, it's
Japan?
This
like
is their
40s or something, right? Yeah, it's like 40s Japan, or I don't know what.
40s
right.
Japan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
right before World War II? Or no, that would be
Yeah,
after
like
World War II.
influenced by like Western, like 40s Western
Yeah.
Japan.
So
I'm
the
guessing
interesting
on that,
thing
but-
is that the first trailer that we saw was in 1915, and then this
yeah.
one was 1943. So it suggests that there's going to be like some alt kind of history going on, and even you're about to see if you're
Okay.
watching the video of the podcast that this guy's eyes and they kind of light up. You're like, no, it doesn't look totally human. So maybe he's some kind of time traveler guy. But yeah, this is a new IP for them. So it's really exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I never played
It looks
Yakuza. That's
dope.
also on my list. Also on my list to do.
It's an action adventure game by some devs that really know what they're doing. So
Yeah, they do.
I'm very excited about that.
Stranger Than
That's
Heaven.
kind of
Did I
giving me
miss-
like Windbreaker Season 2 vibes. Just watching the trailer alone. Is that yeah, that's sort of like the artsy district, brawls kind of a vibe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
it's gonna be cool.
Did I miss anything else?
Summer Game Fest, Silent Hill F. They did
No, that must have been the
do.
PlayStation, wasn't it?
Was it PlayStation?
That wasn't PlayStation. Yeah,
Oh,
because I was thinking
we
about.
talked about it. We talked about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I was thinking
Too
about
scary.
Romeo is a Dead Man or whatever too. I think that was.
Yeah,
also
that was also
That's
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah, we talked
Yep.
about that. They did Silent Hill F today. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. But they did show some gameplay, some new gameplay and stuff today. So I'm gonna check that
Yeah,
out.
and it looks like they confirmed Bluebird's doing Silent Hill remake, Silent Hill 1. They did
Yes, Silent Hill 1 remake from Bloober is also coming. Yeah.
So that's good news for Silent Hill fans. Be eating well.
Yeah. I think that was it from
was
really.
most of
Well,
the
it's
big
the
stuff.
Yeah,
big things. Yeah.
there was some other like interesting looking games that we didn't cover, but I mean,
And
it was
SGF.
pretty good showcase. Like there was a lot of, I was like, I'm kind of interested in this.
Yeah.
Gonna follow this along. So it was a
Oh,
good showcase.
actually, wait, we didn't mention the new Onimusha trailer, did we?
Was that Summer Game
That
Fest? It
was.
wasn't
Yes,
it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
that
was banging.
It looks incredible. This was like
It
a
looks
lot
so
of
good.
gameplay. That's
It
what made
was,
it.
yeah.
I was like, this looks really good. So yeah, Onimusha, Way of the Sword. So I would just go watch that trailer. If you haven't, it's like looking incredible.
It does look incredible. I'm really excited for it.
Is that early next year as well?
Yep.
Oh man, early next year is looking
Man.
good.
Early next year is already
Yeah.
packed.
I don't know if they said
Everyone start
early or
booking your
not.
long service leave in.
I know it's 2026. I don't know if it's early yet though, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
Oh.
man, look at this ogre
Oh, wait,
looking
no, we
guy
talked
with
about
the
that.
club. That looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks so cool, right?
Yeah. Did
The game
Onimusha 2
looks really good.
remaster come out already?
Yes.
It already came out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think they
very
said early yet,
cool.
but people are speculating. Anyway, that
I'll do
one was new.
I'll do a quick update about Pragmata, which is
Oh.
Capcom's new IP coming out next year, apparently. People were actually able to watch it and play it, and everyone who's played it and watched it is like, crap, I think this is really good.
Good.
So, it's a third person like action adventure game, but they're doing a thing where you have to hack robots or hack things. And there's like mini games kind of in the hacking, whilst you're also managing the third person action shooting part of the game.
Oh.
So you're kind of doing two things, which is kind of cool. I'm excited to see how that feels because it's hard to really picture it when people are talking about it, but everyone is like, this is super fresh. This is a really fresh take on like a third person action game. So you're kind of doing, you're doing like hacking stuff while also managing shooting and dodging and all that.
That's
Cool.
great.
Oh,
to
this
hear.
is like the little sister game. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Pragmata.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
We also
Xbox,
got
all the Xbox stuff happened too.
I was gonna say we also
That's
got
also
like our
2020.
first impressions on Ninja Gaiden 4 this week too, didn't we?
We did.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which had me kind of
So-
excited. I was watching some of the gameplay, which looked pretty
Xbox
exciting.
showcase, yeah, they had like their new trailer, and then they also like showed it to some people and let people play it and post gameplay of it.
Yeah, which is
Right.
I wasn't expecting that, obviously. So that was that. What is that? October? It's October. It's another October release, isn't it?
It's October, yeah, it's coming out this year. We're getting 2 Ninja Gaiden games this year.
I know.
I'm pretty jazzed about it.
Ragebound's coming out July 31st.
Ragebound is soon. There's currently a demo for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound on Steam Next Fest, so if you want to check it out, I'm hearing nothing but phenomenal things, which I am not surprised about because it's by the Blasphemous devs.
Yeah, which is an amazing game.
They're
Plus,
really
we got that
good.
Shinobi game coming out. So many ninja games.
Shinobi, there's so many
What?
ninja games.
Let your inner ninja out, man.
Yeah, it's like the 80s are back.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm always
I'd be all right with that.
I'm looking at Ninja, like you're playing the Ninja Gaiden stuff right now. I just love the pace of that game. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that actually the developers talked about was like, we didn't want to just do another Souls-like. We wanted to sort of escalate the pace and make you feel like this, bloody killing machine. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
and like that is Ninja Gaiden, So
Yeah.
I'd be, as much as I wouldn't mind a spin-off Ninja Gaiden that does that, which is almost like Nioh, right? But
yeah,
Sure.
it literally
it
is.
basically is.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
right.
like,
yeah.
True.
yeah,
That's their
they
Souls-like Ninja Gaiden,
this game
especially
needs
in
to
Nioh
be-
3 when you're playing as the ninja. It's literally
Yeah.
that.
I
True.
mean, Ninja Gaiden's trademark is it is so chaotic and insane that the camera can't keep up. So
Yeah.
It's like peak Ninja
That
Gaiden
goddamn
is
motorcycle fight.
being in the Roman Colosseum surrounded by freaking werewolves.
Yep.
You remember that boss fight where you fight the
I
giant
do.
werewolf, then you feel so hardcore and you finally put him down, and then you pick up the scythe and all the stands get emptied as everyone just sort of floods the court, and then it's like, okay, now I gotta fight the freaking 500 werewolves. Cool.
And you're all doing it while you're hearing.
Dude, I was so hyped. That's like peak Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, it's good.
Outer
definitely.
Worlds 2 was also at
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah, this was a game that so Outer Worlds 1 I did really enjoy. Outer Worlds 2 I was like, yeah, I'll probably play it, but then they following the
Obsidian.
Xbox showcase, they did like a deep dive into it, which I haven't fully watched yet. But I've heard that a lot of people were like, I wasn't really going to play it, but after that deep dive, it's like one of my most anticipated games.
And then I heard it was $80.
I
I was
just-
like, maybe not anymore.
It is $80.
I saw a short on like some of the perks you can get, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm in. There was
Give it
one
to us,
perk that
Myelin.
you get. There was one perk that allows you to creep like fast, like crouch walk faster. But every time you stand up, your knees pop really loud and it alerts everyone. And then
That's
everyone's
great.
like, I feel truly represented in video.
That's
If
right.
if that guy's back hurts, I'm in. And then there was another one. What's the? I think it was the name of the condition where you feel like compulsion to steal stuff. But basically, if you stole items, you could sell
Kleptomaniac?
them for
Yeah, klepto.
so like it was a kleptomaniac or whatever as the perk name, and you could steal items and sell them for more if you had this perk on. However, when you were just looking at things, you would have a chance of automatically stealing them without you pressing a button. So it shows a clip of a guy going into the store and like trying to browse the weapons. He just yoinks the grenade launcher off the stand, and then everyone's like, "Hey, put that back!" And you're like, "Sorry."
I got that. It's a compulsion.
yeah,
That's really
That's
fun.
great.
Yeah.
That sounds
The
really
first
fun,
one
really
was
fun.
pretty fun. It was, I felt like the best stuff was like right at the beginning though, and the longer you went with that game, it kind of really petered out. Like they were trying to pad the length of that game a lot. But with a little more time and a little more money, hopefully this one will be really great.
Yeah.
Obsidian is
Yeah,
sitting
I'm
some
excited
talent.
for it.
Sitting
They
some
are.
games.
They make fun things there.
Are you guys excited for a new Call of Duty?
So
was
Black Ops
nice.
7?
a lot of people liked this trailer, but I think the problem is that they were like,
Just
and
cinematic.
one more thing. And they announced a thing that comes every year. It's inevitable. It's always here. It's like saying, and one more thing. NBA 2K's back. Huh. It's coming out next
Yeah,
year too.
but
Who would have thought?
it is true that it's not. You're like, well, I know it's coming, but you never know for sure if it's like the next Black Ops or if it's gonna. I mean, it usually is another Modern Warfare or Black Ops these days, but it's the. I mean, we got that confirmation at least. But it looks sick. I mean,
It did not
cinematic.
look like a COD trailer for the first like 85% of it.
Isn't that
Yeah,
the guy from
yeah.
Heroes?
Looks like him.
Yeah,
It does look like an actor.
I don't know.
Did you guys feel it all to that comment when I was watching it? I was like, this feels like the Xbox influence where they were like, we know you have the way you do stuff, but we want an absolutely sick trailer like this. It felt like I don't know. I feel like normally the Activision reveal didn't go this way, and this was more like the new synergy of Xbox, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the new style.
Maybe.
I feel like we normally don't get the reveal quite in this tone, but
Yeah, that's true.
you know, it's always like an Aerosmith. I'm probably wrong. I'm just remembering
No, it's definitely
it's
a very
Metallica
different trailer
remake,
for them.
you know.
Yeah, it's very different.
So I'm excited on that front. I mean, the campaign stuff is hit or miss depending, but overall, some really banging campaigns, despite the fact that we get so many. So it is a good thing, even though you're like, well, I know it's coming. Look, man, it's
Chat's been
going to
talking
come
about
out.
it. People been talking about Clockwork Revolution.
Thank you.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
That
one
was
of the
my
big
pick.
ones. Yeah, this is a big one for people.
In Exile.
Love that steampunk vibe.
Yeah, I don't know much here apart from
I can
looking
read
at
it.
That
I can
looks
read
okay.
the thing on Steam for it.
RPG.
So it's a time-bending steampunk first-person RPG. After stumbling across an incredible invention that allows you to travel into the past, you discover the city you call home has been carefully crafted through the alteration of historical events. By traveling back to key moments, your interactions and choices will have butterfly effect on the deep narrative-driven world and characters of Avalon. So a big thing of this game is that, you know, you make a decision and then you can see what happens, and then you can go back in time and make the different decision and see how it changes the world, which is really cool.
Oh, it's got inbuilt scum saving.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Game feature.
And extra
Kinda good.
mustaches.
That's kind of good.
It's the vibes are really cool. Obviously, like the visuals of it look really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
it's
a
I
lot
mean,
of personality.
yeah, and it's similar to Obsidian in the sense of like I forget when Microsoft they became part of it or whatever, but In Exile's just like they've been around forever doing like Wasteland and Bard's Tale and some other
Oh, they
like
made Wasteland?
well, yeah. They're just really talented. And so I think it's been cooking for a while. And so I've just been excited on that front in the same way, like when I heard about Avowed, I was just like, dude, it's Obsidian. They did Fallout before, right? And so you get excited on that front. So they have all of that DNA as part of it that at least on that front, I would keep an eye on that one. It could be really, really neat if you like these types of games.
Yep.
We've got some other, I guess, honorable mentions. If we want to talk about them, just shout out Super Meat Boy 3D.
This is
Yeah.
a new Super Meat Boy, which has not happened for quite a long time.
They didn't announce
Yeah,
it
I
for
never played the first one, but it just looks like a good platformer, right? Like a hard platformer is
Yeah.
is
It was
what
really
it
fun.
is.
It was hard,
Yeah.
I was like-
yes, but it was really fun.
Do we know if it's coming to Switch 2 as well? It's one of those games that'd be like, this would be a good Switch 2 game.
It should.
At the moment, it just says early 2026, Xbox Series, PS5, and PC.
Oh, this
Yeah,
game
I know,
I
looks
it's the
agree.
logo.
ridiculous.
Would be nice.
Well, Switch 2 could definitely handle this one, it looks like. So that's the good news.
I think so.
We already
looking at-
talked about Grounded,
We
Gears
got
of War
Beast,
Reloaded.
Beast of Reincarnation. Load that
Oh,
one
yeah.
up. That's a
Got
friggin'
it.
big one. This is
yeah.
by the people
Yes.
who make
Oh, Game
Pokemon.
Freak.
Pokemon.
Game
Dude,
Freak.
I remember
Huh?
that teaser once that finally came. I was like, I remember there was some like concept art teaser like years ago. And we're like, this is Pokemon Game Freak is doing a serious
This
quote,
game
unquote,
looks
project?
technically good. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's so this one they describe it as so you're in post-apocalyptic Japan. You have your like dog friend and there's you. And it is a action RPG built around demanding technical combat.
Okay. Those are code words.
Sounds like.
Those code words just sounds like. Yeah. And like it looks cool. And they're fighting like robots, they're fighting like more natural based things or like corrupted nature things. There's a lot of really cool stuff in that
Yeah,
trailer.
this looks sick. I like this.
Yeah, it looks cool.
This is coming from the Pokemon guys?
Yeah.
This
That's
is the
why I wanna
Pokemon
see it.
guys.
Is largely all they've done is Pokemon. And I recall, I mean, maybe mixing things up. I didn't check this at all.
They've
but
done some
I-
like mobile games.
Well, but I was like, I remember when this art was shown, the CEO said something to the effect of like, we're trying to do new stuff with small teams and like sort of to the effect of try new things and expand and not effectively, just be on Pokemon. And, to see is a big departure from, what you would expect from Game Freak.
Yeah.
So
Do you think it's one of the things that's like, please, Nintendo, let us be free. We want to make it. No, you will make Pokemon.
I don't know,
Please.
man. They're making so much money from that. Like,
yeah, I'd have to,
Yeah.
again, I'd have to look it
Sure,
up, but
but
they run
think-
pretty lean.
I
I
think
think.
at some point, creative people want the freedom to be creative.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
People who build things want the freedom to be the kid in their room with a box of Legos.
Are there
and a
creative
ton of
people
open
making
space.
Pokemon? It doesn't appear so from the outside.
Well, there definitely are. And I'm hoping that this is the case of like, we've made $8 quadrillion with Pokemon. Sure, you can have a small team to make this like thing you want to try and do.
Right.
I mean, they made 20 of the
Hope
same
so.
game, and they look like worse as they go.
I do still go back to like red and blue, It's like there's a reason why the OGs just felt better.
I know this
I'm
game was
excited
awesome.
for
I can't
Beast of
wait.
Reincarnation.
I'll check this
I
out for
don't
sure.
have any confidence that the frame rate will be any good based on their
Right.
recent
Yeah.
fun on Switch and whatnot. But well, I'm hoping actually.
Hope so.
But it does look cool.
And the other big thing was Xbox's handheld. They announced
right.
their
Oh, God.
handheld,
Can you
which
say one of the names of it? for
ROG
fun?
Ally Xbox.
It's
This
even
is
worse
just
than
a
that, but
ROG
yes.
Ally with an Xbox label on it, right?
Well,
Like,
they
there's no
teamed up with them to
functional
make.
difference to this, is there?
Oh, I believe like from a software side, it's more integrated, right? And even like from the design,
It's not just running Windows.
Well, yeah,
It's running Windows,
right? But I believe they're doing more to make it more integrated, right? Originally, I was just trying to say the name is like, what is it? There's ROG, or what is it? I forget. It's like Xbox ROG Ally X, and then there's like the regular one.
Xbox ROG Ally S, probably.
No, it's ROG Xbox Ally X is the high-end one. I'm not kidding with you. I just had to make a comment on that. That was all. But the regular one is ROG Xbox Ally. So to finish this thought, it'll probably turn into like, oh, did you get the Ally or did you get the Ally X? Which I get, like Series X, but I just hate all of that.
Yep.
Like, first of all, nobody likes Series X, and then you had ROG, which nobody even knows how to pronounce anyway. And then you sandwiched all this together. You guys are crazy. Absolutely insane.
So is this thing running like the Xbox OS, or at least like a front end that looks like Xbox, or is this just running Windows?
Well,
I was hoping you guys would have the answers to this. Because my small brain couldn't work it
out. All those breakdowns. But I mean, in the trailer, I mean, they do try to focus on it strictly being like, call it a, what's Steam big picture, you know, but Xbox, an Xbox app that is, it seems to me, again, at a glance, that it's clearly that experience. So it's not just like Windows. It's got a nav bar on the left, and like it has almost like a Steam-esque and Xbox-esque presentation. So I don't know, in other words, where ROG Ally is at with like booting up into, you know, do you have one, Briar, or anyone?
What?
But in other words, like when you boot it up, does it, you know, are you really just in base Windows? I thought
it looks like the people are mostly saying that it's a customized, stripped down Windows with an Xbox UI.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's not just straight up, running Windows and putting a Game Pass on there.
But then you can't run Steam, like you can't run Epic Game Store.
Potentially, yeah. I recall them, someone also talking about something. I'm trying to strip out some of the problems of Windows as part of this too. But I mean, end of the day, like the big thing here seems to be they do have a handheld, but they decided best to team up for now, maybe permanently, and just get it out there. Focus on the software, and then of course they really were focused on the what is it called, Xbox Play Everywhere.
It says you can run Steam. Yeah, you can run Steam. You can run third-party apps. You can run Epic. Yep.
Does that mean that they have to make an app for this, or does that mean that they can run the Windows app? I'm really asking chat.
I don't want to even take a guess on those anymore. But again, like the big message,
they called out Steam, Epic, GOG as supported.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything.
But a big part of this message was now you'll see more games. That is, I think what was the term? Was it Play Everywhere? But in the cloud, on your Xbox with cross-play, cross progression. I believe all of this is a big part of this focus. Is like, well, you know, maybe I'm on the go with this, but maybe I'm on my Xbox or in my PC in the same setup. So on that front, at least, it's exciting that they're continuing to push that forward.
And then they announced that Silk Song's going to drop with it.
Oh my God!
That's
so
true.
I got to talk about this.
Do we have a release date?
Yeah, maybe. Holiday 2025. Apparently, is when this is coming out, and Silksong will be launching with it. Now, I gotta say, Team Cherry, I appreciate everything that you've done with video games, but I'm starting to get a little mad because they showed Silksong for half a second on the Nintendo Switch 2 thing, and we were like, what's going on there? And now they're showing Silksong on the Xbox handheld, and like, they're not just saying, we are coming out holiday 2025. It's like, well, we're coming out with the launch of this thing, maybe possibly. It's like, can you just tell me? Yeah, I don't even need an exact date. I would like one, but could you tell me, like, yes, the Silksong game is coming out holiday 2025. Please.
Yeah, I was really hoping it was going to launch with the Switch too, honestly, but I'll take holiday. I mean, we've been waiting now for almost 10 years, so
God, wouldn't that have been amazing?
And it was playable. When it was announced, it was playable at E3. That's the crazy thing, is they announced it 6 years ago now, playable at E3. People were playing it. So we're like,
Look,
oh yeah, it's probably coming out pretty soon.
Hollow
right?
Knight is a beloved game. It's got to be hard to follow that up, right? Like, they are obviously taking their time with this thing.
I think good sequels are a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I bet you're right.
can you ever follow up
Yeah.
to something that's like pretty much an instant classic?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Going back to this ROG Xbox Ally X.
You nailed it. Holy crap.
Well, it's because I'm reading it off the screen. Because
Oh, I was like, now he remembers everything.
what's interesting about this is that Microsoft has also said that they want to like fork Windows, or in so much as they want to have like a gaming specific version of Windows, because I think they're kind of getting a little bit nervous about how popular SteamOS is and how well it runs video games on low powered hardware.
Mhm.
So this device, to me, I'm not that interested in this device, honestly. I don't really want a handheld Windows machine. It's just not, my life is complicated enough.
But it's just like a
But-
different Steam Deck at that point, isn't it? I mean,
Well, one of the
this one.
joys of the Steam Deck is that it runs Steam OS, which is
Yeah.
not Windows, right? It's like I'm not getting into the ini files of my Steam Deck because something
Yeah.
is wrong. You know, I'm not editing my startup because like some
Right, but
malware
that-
has like accidentally gotten loaded on here.
Yeah. But that seems to be the point of this, like you're saying. So I'm wondering,
Yeah, but
do you just not believe they'll be able to pull that off?
that's part
I
of
mean,
it.
it-
Yeah,
that's fair to-
probably- That's part of it because if it's just a front end loaded on Windows, like Steam Big Picture, like you can make a PC that's running Windows just like automatically boot up Big Picture. So as far as you're concerned, it just looks like Steam's the only thing running on this thing. And if that's what this is, I mean, that's not very attractive to me. I mean, other people like Windows. I mean, I just don't like Windows. I don't trust Microsoft, and I think they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. But like, it is interesting that they find SteamOS to be so much of a competitor that they're willing to fork Windows, like to make a better performing gaming platform.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see.
I mean, do you think it could be all the above in the future? Like, in other words, they do need to sort of fix this from an Xbox app and experience perspective. But do you think this would, because with this write-off having Steam as well on the system at some point, because there were those rumors about, right? Like, at some point, didn't we see like leaks or something that was going to maybe allow you to do both or something? And
Yeah,
could have
I
just
don't
been
know.
conceptual, but yeah, meaning Steam runs on Windows, so I know that Steam OS is different, right? It's like Linux. But yeah, in other words, maybe there's still a chance that they'll strip this down and Steam OS will still run, or could dual boot or something on something like this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, SteamOS, you just do boot it.
But dual boot is not like, for most consumers, it's not a thought. You know,
No,
you
and
just
I
need-
put Windows on my Steam Deck one time, and what a mess.
Yeah.
What an awful experience.
I actually missed this one before. The Vampire Witcher, the Dawn of the Blood of Dawnwalker. Do you remember this?
No, what's this?
It looks like a Vampire Witcher. It's probably the best. It's an action RPG.
Oh yeah, we've
You're,
seen this, right? Yeah,
yeah,
this is,
but I think-
yeah. This had that really
wanna
cool
s-
story trailer with the vampires,
I
kind of
think
like
This was
attacking
an
the-
additional announcement at the game show.
gameplay.
What's this called
Did
again?
they show gameplay?
Let me scan through. Blood
This is-
of Dawnwalker is the name.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had like a
Don't
dev kind of
know.
showing where they were talking about inspirations for the vampires and how they wanted to make them a bit different, and yeah. So this
Got
it's
all-
something that I saw and I was like, I like their ideas, I like what they're saying about it, but I need to see some gameplay.
Yeah, I think this
I
is all
need
cinematic.
gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also found Nintendo's next a victim for suing because this Aniimo trailer looks like Power World and also uses the whatever they just patented, the Pokeballs, like using a spherical ball to capture
Capture
stuff. So there's been a bit of talk about whether these guys are gonna get sued into oblivion, and it's pretty ballsy to, I don't know, put a trailer with using that mechanic, considering what happened to Power World. I'm not
Maybe
too
they're
sure
just
what
planning
happened
on
in
making enough money to pay the legal fees,
that. Maybe.
like
Let's get
Power
their
World.
name out there. That's a strategy.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's a marketing strategy. Yeah.
Some
So
of
it
these
looks like
look
you play
very
as
similar to Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they look like animals. Yeah. I don't have much more to add apart from let me watch that space for Aniimo, Anniimo.
Yeah.
Also Xbox Showcase.
Is that a Bell Awesome?
Onimusha.
Yeah.
just
Animal,
smack,
I
just
get it
smacking
now.
animals with hammers, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Animal.
Yep.
Literally just animal. I get it now.
And then there was a whole bunch of the Gears of War stuff, Gears of War remake, and
Mhm.
a prequel as well, I think. There you
Good
go.
stuff. My list got very large
Yeah.
because there was
Yeah.
a lot. I want to just shout out one indie game that I saw because there was so
Mhm.
many. I want to just tell you about one that I think all of you may kind of dig. Myelin, if you want to look it up, it's
Yep.
Crisol, Theater of Idols, Crisol, Theater of Idols,
Crisol.
Crisol. Yep.
Okay.
While you do that, I'll give a little breakdown. So it's a first-person horror action game set in a twisted version of Spain, and you use like your blood to make weapons and reload weapons, and it's that whole thing. The music was really cool, which you won't be able to hear, so you have to watch the trailer yourself. But the music was really cool. And it's being published by Blumhouse Games, which is the publication company that was made by like really well-known and established horror movie creators. So they're publishing a bunch of these really cool games. So keeping an eye on what they're publishing actually might give you a good idea about.
That
Oh,
just
oh,
scared
that's
me.
creepy. Oh
It's
man.
creepy. It's creepy. It just looks really cool. It's got really interesting vibes, and yeah, you're like draining blood and turning that into your weapon, and you're reloading with your blood, and it just looks cool. I thought it was real cool.
Nice.
This was one of the few indie games that I saw where I was like, I think I could bring this up and kind of show people. And
That was just a really
might
cool
be feeling it.
animation there, where the reload of the gun has like needles sticking out of it, and he slams his hand into it to like show his
Yeah.
blood in. That's really cool.
Yeah, because I've seen a couple games that are like, yeah, you use your blood as bullets, but like this is the first one that I've seen that really seems to show you what you're doing to get that ammo. Like, yeah,
But
a
how
bunch of the
get
weapons
blood?
are sticking your arm into needles and reloading. It's cool.
If you don't like needles, this is gonna be a nightmare
Nightmare
game for
game.
you.
Don't yeah, if you don't like needles, I don't recommend this.
I don't mind needles. I just don't like you sticking me with them.
There was so
I-
many indie games. I was like, that looks kind of cool.
And-
That looks kind of cool.
And you know what's crazy at the moment? It's also Next Fest. I've been playing a bunch of like demos as well.
It is Next Fest, dude. I was so anytime Next Fest comes around, there's always something big that launches that I can't play it. This time I was like, oh, it's summer. There's not gonna be like much, right? They don't care anymore. Game developers don't care. They don't care that it's summer. They don't want you to go outside. I thought I'd be free to stay inside and play demos instead of playing full games. Here we are.
I got some. I played maybe 5 or 6 games yesterday, so I can give you
Yeah, give us
like
a
some
little
of my
breakdown.
favorites.
Yeah.
Moonlighter 2, my favorite so far. It is a rogue. Is it light or like?
Light. Yeah, probably
It's a
light.
roguelite. Like, well, actually not really like Hades, but it's a rogue. You go in, you get gear, you level up, you get random combos of perks, whatever. But the hook of the game is you collect relics, and then you have to run a shop when you get back to town. And so when you get back to town, you put your relics, onto these little pedestals. And you have customers coming to your shop, and there's another rogue mechanic to sell your gear to customers. Like you can like a haggle system, but it's like a perk combo. So it's like, you can just add an additional 100 coin onto this price, and then you can increase it by a certain percentage, and then you might get another buff. So you're basically like running around running a shop, while you get like these buffs and perks to increase the value, and that money you use to like give permanent upgrades to your character and level up your gear, and then go back into the dungeon. It's a free demo. You can play it right now. It's on Steam. It might be on other platforms too. It's very fun.
It's
very
funny.
good.
I didn't see it at first, what you were describing. I didn't catch the name. And then I was like, that sounds like, I remember my friend really liked a game that was a lot like that. And yeah, it's Moonlighter.
Moonlight.
You can play the first one, which by the way, it looks like on
Yeah.
sale on Steam for $2 right now. You got about a week or so left for that one. But yeah, I heard nothing but good things about that one. So it seems really
The
neat.
combat is really like you can't spam it. You get locked into your animations, and it looks like a cutesy game, but it pretty much kicks your ass from the very get-go. You're like, okay, this is not the game where I can just kind of like spam X and knock everything over. I'll like do a couple attacks, roll out of it. You have multiple enemies. Like, it does have that frantic roguelite gameplay style, but you know, like Hades, you feel like you can just fill the screen with like bullet hell kind of deal, where you get a combo of stuff and you could just kill everything on the screen. This is a little bit more like, from what I've played so far, a bit more combat focused with your gear, and like very thoughtful with when you're going to attack an enemy, rather than like get some crazy perk combo that wipes everything. It could get to that point, but the demo is a little bit more grounded with the combat, which I kind of liked. And the selling the stuff in the store is just a really fun feature to it as well. Very nice.
Yeah, it looks like this developer is, I was just checking them out on Steam, Digital Sun. It looks like they're like cooking really interesting stuff. I'd never seen The Mage Seeker or Cataclysmo, but if you get in, it looks like everybody's liking their games. So all of them look really interesting. Cool development house.
Yep.
I
There's
played
so
Baby
many.
Steps.
You did. This
Oh,
is
did you?
Myelin, the video game. Thank
You-
God he played it, everybody.
Really,
What kind of game is this, Myelin?
Is it tedious or fun?
what do you? It is tedious, but I think it's a game that, like, I would do a couple times on the stream. I'll have a couple runs, then I'll put it down. And it is. Is it only up? What's the one when you're in the pot with the pickaxe and you got to climb like a mountain?
Oh,
Only
Yeah.
up, I think, right?
it's not only up. No, it's
No.
It's that style.
Oh,
game. I
that's
think
the
it's made by
jumping
same
one.
guys.
Yeah, I know the one
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, where you're
Yeah,
like
I know what
hanging
you're
off a ledge trying to
The
like.
walking is just killing me.
The walking. So it was Australian term. It's a funny setup. So the way that it works is you press left stick, leans your character, and then like right trigger lifts your right leg, left trigger lifts your left leg. So you gotta
It's gotta be fun to
gotta-
watch though.
hold the trigger, like right trigger, and then lean, and and then let go of the trigger, and your foot will go down, and then left trigger, and then put your foot down. And so it's just walking. And the premise at the moment is I need to go to the bathroom. I get sucked into this other dimension. I'm a no hope kid, like 30, 40-year-old living at home with his parents and in a onesie. And, you got to make it to the bathroom, which is on top of this hill, apparently. Getting
just
over
pee
it.
on a
That's
bush.
right.
No bushwees here.
No bushwees. Yeah. Or it even like addresses. The guy's like, oh, why don't you just pee in front of the bush? And he's like got pee anxiety. He's like, I can't. I can't.
It kind of gives me like Human Fall Flat vibes.
Yeah. You can try the demo. Just download the demo. See if you like it. I think it's fun to give it a couple shots. I probably wouldn't play it all day, but we'll give it a couple shots maybe each day.
Seems
Yeah.
perfect for a streamer game.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fun to watch.
I mean, I
That's
got
right.
more to talk about, but I feel like I've been yapping the whole time.
Yeah, would you shut up? Jeez.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
God, we covered so much already.
I know we've talked about a lot of games.
Oddly productive show tonight.
Did that? I didn't get this. Did they actually release the Splitgate Battle Royale?
We got two as
Yeah.
well. I got
Oh,
plenty
we need to
more
talk
that
about
as well.
MindsEye after too. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
I gave
Splitgate 2 did come out.
2 a shot. Yeah, the controversy around that. The guy came out with the make
Well,
FPS great again with a
there's
cap
that too.
on, and
Oof.
said he hates Call of Duty and wants the Titanfall 3, which everyone's kind of like, yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
They
Great job
they
in
did
the
some
marketing tank there.
Yeah, the Twitter went off the rails a little bit. It was like attacking Call of Duty devs. Well, not really attacking. I guess they were just throwing shade back, and they deleted some tweets. And
Well, I think
he
it was
made
the
some
tone
apologies
with the
and
hat. I think without the
yeah,
hat, they wouldn't have
Yeah.
like cared as much, probably. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe controversy works. I downloaded Splitgate 2. It's free to play. It had been in beta for a month and just officially launched with the battle royale.
so you tried the battle royale? Because yeah, like the normal game is. I like Splitgate. Did he freeze?
Oh,
Sure.
Mylin's gone.
I thought he was
Myelin
deep
did
in
be
thought.
gone. Yeah,
Maybe
he
his
was
internet
really-
went out. Maybe
Could
they
be.
got to him, Chad. He was about
They
to say
got
something
to him.
real bad about it.
I think he's having a stroke.
Okay, well, let's also hope that's not the case.
His dog's
nobody
not
else
moving
hopes so.
either, though.
Well, maybe we'll come back to Splitgate if Myelin comes
We
back.
could talk about MindsEye while we wait.
Okay.
All right,
Anybody
play
play
it on us.
I did not play it.
Okay.
know about
MindsEye has been quite a spicy launch. So this was a game that's supposed to be like a GTA-like game created by someone who previously
one of the
worked on
lead-
GTA.
Veterans,
Okay.
yeah.
I believe it started out, so I'm not super read up on this, but it started as like they were making this platform where users could make games with their platform. And MindsEye was going to be like an example of the kind of thing that you could make in that platform or something like that. So the game comes out, it releases, and it is almost unplayable for a lot of people. Like the bugs that are happening are really bad. People were playing the story and they reached the end and they're like, what the hell is going on? It's so bad that PlayStation is like just giving refunds, which you know what kind of situation it's got to be when that happens. And I saw something happen that I've never seen happen before, where so Carnage had a sponsor to play MindsEye. The sponsor, as he was loading up the game, reached out and canceled the sponsorship or paused it. They didn't want him to
Basically
play
just
the
said,
game.
don't play it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
They're like, do not play this game. Sponsorship pause. Don't play it.
Like they they were like, how do we keep this from rolling out? Yeah, that's crazy though that's the part I just don't understand that we often get into with these types of problems. It's like, but how did you not know? Like, did you really not know there was this many problems? Or did you just think that people would get over it? Like, and then you have all these sponsorships on top of it when you knew?
Yeah.
So I don't know if something happened in QA. I haven't really looked into this at all because I'm like, look, I'm not looking for a game like this right now personally, even if it was good. We can wait till next year for actual GTA 6 maybe, but anyway, it's crazy seeing some of the bugs.
Myelin, I think you're back, by the way.
Am I back?
I think
back.
you're back.
you were gone.
I
You were
had
talking
no
about-
idea what was happening. I was yapping about Splitgate 2, and then all of a sudden, Watts was talking about MindsEye.
Consider it a rehearsal.
Right. When did I drop out?
The very
you actually
beginning.
dropped out
At
almost
the beginning.
almost
Yeah.
4
The
minutes
pitch.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've been talking to myself for 4 minutes. And everyone's like being very respectful.
But MindsEye's a mess. Maybe we just wrap that up unless anybody's got
MindsEye
more
is a
to say,
mess.
but-
It's a mess if you want to look into it. It's kind of funny. If you're feeling like a little bit of a gossipy Gilda,
I like that.
go
Yeah,
and
now-
to be fair to them, they did respond. I mean, to be fair, like if you bought it and wasted your money, it's not so fair. But they did, meaning they are claiming they're working on all this stuff. If you want to see, they have like a multi-stage, like fix it type plan. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know what happened, if they were running out of money or what, but it's crazy.
It's pretty nuts.
So back to Splitgate.
So you're-
Splitgate.
I had asked you, did you play the Battle Royale? Because the core game is great. I like, in general, I like Splitgate, but the
yeah, so
Battle
I was
Royale
saying
is
the
big
core
time.
game is great. The 4v4 are great. The game modes in the 4v4 are really good. And I had the most fun with them. The Battle Royale, I did not enjoy that much. And people who are split game fans, like in my stream, were saying it probably needs a little bit more time as well. It doesn't really feel like a Battle Royale. You have these 4 sections, these 4 arenas that you drop into. So like you're on a ship like a Battle Royale and you got to choose when to jump, but it's not one big map. It's like 4 separate arenas
Oh yeah,
that the
that's
ship
right.
takes you through. And so you kind of get straight into the action straight away. You still have to, you start with a pistol, you have to loot everything else. And then you're just kind of fighting until the zone comes in, and then it converges on like a single arena.
Is Splitgate the one that's like Halo with portals?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I just didn't feel like it worked, but I don't know if that was a skill issue. There is another mode that's called Onslaught, which is big maps, and I also didn't feel like the portals worked in that. But then I saw people playing it, and there's a big like movement skill gap that's a bit like Titanfall, where you can maintain momentum and just like launch yourself across the map. And I was like, okay, like I was playing it wrong. Like I'll accept that. And so you kind of can do some of that in the Battle Royale, obviously, because it's a more open area, but I didn't jive with it. And I actually feel like they would have been better off just not calling it Battle Royale, and it's just their own spin at some like knockout arena mode that's, you know, big, 100 players in it, rather than.
But then you got to like market it. You have, that's the tricky part, because you say Battle Royale, you immediately reach, you flip a switch in everyone's brains because everyone knows what to expect, right? So you'd have to like, I don't know, you'd have to get creative with your marketing then if you were going to do that.
Well, I think, it's kind of interesting thing, right? Because they call it Battle Royale, and that gave them people turned on them for calling it a Battle Royale, because, the CEO was like, we don't like the Call of Duty slop. Here's a Battle Royale to literally background music of Imagine Dragons. So everyone's like, well, you can't call everyone else out and trend chase at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely see where they're going, but I don't know whether. Well, let me put it this way. I played during peak times, and I waited in queue for 6 minutes to get a game. So maybe that's an objective way of putting the current fan base.
Is part of that your location?
Game mode.
Is part of that being in Australia?
I did during the day, and I also did during peak time, just to see if it would change. I actually had quicker times during the middle of the day than I did like after work. So could be just a location thing, but I think it's also kind of fair to use that as an example, because other regions, I think, like if this game just came out, right? And let's say like Arc Raiders was a closed beta with multiple servers, and I got games off peak every single time, middle of the day. Sure. So it's kind of like I think the extremes of like matchmaking feel the impacts of games not doing well first. So maybe it was like an Australian thing, but I think for a game that just literally launched,
you should expect to be
to get
matches lobbies pretty quickly.
Yeah, a lot quicker than 6 minutes for the mode that they just announced as well. So, I think it needs a little bit more time, the Battle Royale, and the loot options need some more love. Or it might just be that game that only appeals to people that really want to master that like movement skill gap early on. And, when you watch people play like that, it looks like a completely different game. And then people usually go, do I want to do that, or do I not want to play like that?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Either way, it's free to play. Download it. They also had $100 microtransactions that they removed, or they halved the price off.
They did.
$112 is what it would cost me for a cosmetic bundle. And after the Call of Duty backlash,
what do you get in the bundle that makes it worth $120?
Well, nothing is.
I can bring it up and show you. It's literally like weapon skins and like character skins. Like maybe five items.
That sounds really egregious.
Yeah. What's the conversion?
I guess it was $80 maybe in the US, but
it's $80.
Yeah, I think it was probably 80 US.
It's a lot.
But still.
That's a lot of money.
That's the price of a brand new Xbox game.
Yeah, I was gonna say a full new release.
I mean, I know it's free to play, but I spoke about.
But your pricing model still needs to make sense, be reasonable.
Yeah, you can't like be criticizing the Call of Duty devs and saying like you guys are just releasing slop and trend chasing, and then like have a battle royale with $100 microtransactions.
Yeah, for sure. Their pitch was not good. Like there's a way to promote your vision and what's different about it without being inflammatory and berating other people in the industry.
There is?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
seemed like they didn't even consider that as an option.
Yeah. And then I think the CEO was in like, I didn't know about the price of like the stuff in the store and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And you're like, if you're
A
the
lot of
CEO, you should
CEOs
probably know
saying that
about
right
that.
now.
So this
Notice that?
is what you get for $112. So you have one a Nano Nurse skin, a skin for the pistol, a skin for the Hyperline carbine, so what 4 weapon skins and then a skin for your portal. So 6
That's
crazy.
some bull
But
crap.
It's funny though when you go through that though. It just sort of reminds me of I could be way off, but like Valorant for some reason where I'm like, yeah, dude, stuff was just like super
Oh, Valorant
expensive.
is crazy.
And the quality maybe 1,000 times better in the Valorant stuff for all I can remember. But
Yeah.
Right.
but it's not like it's completely unprecedented. But it's partially because like this is Splitgate 2 and like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah. It's like if you want to be a market leader, do you know what in my mind, market leaders right now going against the grain when it comes to like battle passes and microtransactions and inventing another way that doesn't feel like just a funnel to get you to open your wallet. And when you come across those games that do that, you're like, hey, I really respect this developer now. I want to spend more time in there giving feedback because I feel like they're on the right track for not being so egregious with microtransactions in a free-to-play market.
He apparently said in this video that, the former head of monetization at 1047 Games, who's the developer, came from Call of Duty, but had been very aggressive on pricing, but they were only there for so long. And then they claimed some things slipped through the cracks and they had reevaluated. But like, I mean, it's just like full of problems.
The
right
guy
now.
who stole this art doesn't even work here anymore.
Too soon, dude. Too soon.
Well,
remember?
Did everyone take notes? Everyone listening, do you take notes of all the games you want to play?
Yeah, you should
what?
hope you were taking notes. Dude, I've
Resident Evil 9.
Tomorrow
Onimusha.
I'm doing a demo day. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. And this is like one of the better Steam Next Fest that I've seen. This is like a ton of really, really good demos.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
excited,
should do a
a little
tier
overwhelmed.
list at the end of the day. Do a full tier list
yeah.
of the demos you played. And then
I should do
because
that.
I would love to catch the highlights and be like, okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking of doing
definitely
the
will.
exact same thing. I was like, I want to play because only this weekend, right? I was like, I want to play as many as I can, and then I just scrolled through the next fest thing. And I probably had at least 20 games already. I'm like,
Right. There's no way.
It ends on Monday, June 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific. So, yep. It's like tomorrow, the weekend pretty much is what you have to play.
you're gonna have to give games like max an hour if you wanted to get through.
I was gonna do like an hour and a half.
Impression, hour and a half.
Because it depends on the kind of game, right? Because some of the demos are literally the beginning of the game, and they're like, here's the tutorial and the intro and the world building, and then an hour is when you hit the gameplay. So I was gonna do like an hour and a half, and I guess we got to just be really strict of whether it grabs us or not is kind of what it has to be. And there is a game coming out tomorrow called The Altars, which you guys may have heard about. I don't know if you guys have played this War of Mine. It's by those guys. And their thing is, so it's a base building, survival, action and adventure, sci-fi. It's got a lot of really cool stuff going on, but they're blending a bunch of different things together where you're kind of doing like time travel and space expedition, and it's about managing your base. But this has gotten reviews today, and it's got really, really good reviews. If you are interested in watching the game or streaming the game, they're going to have Twitch integration where chat can choose your outcome of dialogue options and who to side with and what to do, which sounds
What's
crazy.
it called?
The Altars. ALTERS. So that comes out tomorrow. But there should be lots of reviews out there. Yep. If anyone is interested in looking at reviews. But it looks really fun.
Oh.
It looks fun.
Oh.
Yeah. It looks fun. So I'm gonna check that out.
8 hours.
Did they?
Yep.
Oh, well, wait, they have Frostpunk 1886 on their page. Do they have anything to do with the original? Or maybe not. It's on their page, but yeah, I think that is okay. Briar, there you go. It's the developer of Frostpunk, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, they are a pub. Yeah, it's a publisher and developer. Yeah, you got to just double check because they publish a lot of games that they don't develop.
Yeah.
They also publish Moonlighter. So.
Yep.
You were talking about Moonlighter earlier.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, they make
Cool.
really good like base management kind of games. Like they're really good at that. And this one is like full 3D.
Oh.
Yeah, where you actually go out into the
didn't
world and do
get to-
expeditions and
I
stuff.
didn't get to that part.
Yeah, because you see that you've
Right.
got like the base building, but they have also
It looks
added
like the
action adventure stuff too.
right. It looks like the base building almost looks like what was that Fallout like spin off like the
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Shelter or something. Where
Fallout
you-
Shelter.
you-
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually
but you
Ras
also
brings
go
up
out
a
into the world.
good thing. The hook is that your crew is full of clones of you from alternate timelines.
Oh, weird.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's a really cool premise. I want to check it out. I want to play it.
Yeah, where you gonna play that when you got like 100 Nextfest demos to get through?
I'm gonna add it as part of. It's not a demo, but I'm gonna add it as part of it. We'll play it for a bit.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
Especially with Twitch integration. Like that's gonna be really funny. You're like, no, don't side with the guy who wants to eat people. Yeah,
That's
I think
rich
that'd be-
coming
Saying the
from
price here.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad
Briar's
example.
like, hello.
It was like, really?
Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late. That was a good show.
It's good.
That was a
Good
Good
job,
show.
everybody.
Yeah.
Get your lists.
All right.
We had
Thank
to-
you all for
we had
joining
to-
us.
We had to temporarily DDoS Myelin to get him to stop talking.
Yeah.
Myelin, that's a smile like, oh no, was I talking too much? We're
I'm
just
totally
kidding,
kidding.
You weren't at
Myelin.
all.
It's a
We're
joke,
kidding.
Myelin.
I was so goddamn confused because I came back in and watched this completely different conversation about MindsEye. I'm like,
And you're like,
oh, they've
uh-oh.
muted me. They've just next, I've said, you know what? Next conversation, server mute.
Yeah.
Thought we
Don't
were
mute
listening
people enough.
forever.
No, you did. You got all those trailers ready. You had everything lined up.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
trailer's
yeah,
all
you
good.
yeah.
you were
It was good.
MVP tonight. You were MVP
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. And be safe out there.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go.